Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, believed that our unconscious mind is like a hidden treasure trove filled with valuable information and insights that can help us better understand ourselves and become more whole. It contains our deepest thoughts, fears, desires, and memories, many of which we may not be aware of. By exploring this hidden part of the mind, we can understand why we act the way we do and heal past wounds. Furthermore, our unconscious mind can reveal talents and potentials we never knew existed, opening up new possibilities for personal and professional growth. Jung divided the unconscious mind into two parts: the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. The personal unconscious includes all the aspects unique to an individual that they are unaware of or refuse to acknowledge, such as hidden emotions, desires, and memories. Jung referred to this part as the shadow. This is where all the aspects a person refuses to accept about themselves reside, parts we consider bad or unacceptable. Jung believed that unless we confront this shadow, we cannot become our true selves, as these rejected emotions and thoughts will continue to influence our actions and choices unconsciously. The shadow is not something evil or malevolent, but rather a part of us that needs to be understood and integrated into our lives. Jung encouraged individuals to face their own shadows, for it is only by doing so that we can grow and change. Working with the shadow helps us become more whole, as it allows the integration of rejected parts into the ego, bringing balance and newfound wisdom in our approach to life. Meanwhile, the collective unconscious is a deeper layer, containing the shared emotions, thoughts, and instincts of all humans. Jung believed that we all inherit certain characteristics and tendencies he called archetypes. These archetypes are universal symbols and themes that have existed throughout human history and can be found in myths, fairy tales, and religious stories. These archetypes are not merely symbolic images and stories, but deep psychological patterns that have been formed over thousands of years of human development. They include patterns such as the hero, the father, the mother, the teacher, and others, which each of us can recognize in ourselves in one form or another. Although these archetypes may not always be clearly visible in our everyday consciousness, they can influence how we act, make decisions, and interact with others. Recognizing and understanding these archetypes helps us understand the origins of our emotions and actions, allowing us to improve our relationships and careers. Jung believed that these archetypes create opportunities for personal development and enable us to connect with a deeper part of ourselves. Jung's teachings emphasize the importance of exploring the unconscious mind to achieve individuation, which means becoming our true and complete selves by unlocking the hidden potential we all have within. Individuation is not an easy process. It is a long journey that requires each person to confront rejected aspects and accept both the light and dark sides of themselves. This process not only helps individuals become psychologically whole, but also provides a deeper, more complete perspective on life, while creating change in the way we face challenges and opportunities. Carl Jung wrote several influential books, including Psychology of the Unconscious, Man and His Symbols, Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious, Modern Man in Search of a Soul, Psychology and Alchemy, Memories, Dreams, Reflections, and the Relations Between the Ego and the Unconscious. These books opened up a new perspective on psychology and helped us better understand how the unconscious mind works. Through studying and applying these principles in our lives, we can not only gain a better understanding of ourselves, but also discover untapped potential in life. In this video, we will discuss how to listen to your unconscious mind to become more whole from Carl Jung's philosophy. The important thing is not just being aware of the existence of the shadow and the archetypes, but taking action to explore and integrate them into everyday life. Doing this not only helps you overcome psychological limitations, but also opens up tremendous opportunities for growth in all areas of life, from work to personal relationships, helping you live a freer and more fulfilling life. Listening to your shadow. Carl Jung said that working with the shadow is the path of the heart. The concept of the shadow is a crucial element in his theories about the unconscious mind. The shadow is essentially the darker side of our personality that we keep hidden. This includes our weaknesses, suppressed desires, and instincts, things we may feel ashamed of or uncomfortable with. The shadow forms as we grow up and learn which behaviors are acceptable and which are not. For example, imagine a child being scolded for being too aggressive. To avoid trouble and gain approval, the child may suppress their assertiveness. This trait doesn't disappear. It simply sinks below the surface and becomes the shadow. Later in life, this hidden assertiveness may emerge through negative behaviors or sudden outbursts. Everyone has a shadow. We all have traits like anger, jealousy, greed, laziness, and selfishness, things we deny because they are considered bad. But our shadow does not stay silent. It continues to try to communicate with us, demanding our attention. We need to listen to it, and the process of discovering these hidden aspects of ourselves is called working with the shadow. To begin this work, the first step is to identify your shadow. Pay attention to what annoys or angers you in others. These reactions often point to parts of yourself that you haven't recognized. For example, imagine you're at work and feel irritated every time a colleague boasts about their achievements. You think they are too arrogant, but then you stop and reflect. Could it be that part of you also craves recognition for your achievements but doesn't express it? Perhaps you downplay your success to appear modest, but deep inside, you long for acknowledgement and appreciation. This unspoken desire may be something you're projecting onto your colleague. By recognizing this, you can understand that your irritation is not entirely about their behavior, but about an aspect of you that you haven't fully accepted. To explore this further, make a list of traits you don't like in others and see if they are related to you. This exercise helps you uncover hidden parts of yourself. Often, the aspects we dislike in others are reflections of what we've repressed within ourselves. Traits like selfishness, greed, or laziness may indicate that we are avoiding parts of ourselves, parts that are not socially accepted or allowed to be expressed outwardly. Now, let's move to the next step, accepting and confronting these traits. This means acknowledging them without judgment. Think about how these traits show up in your life. For example, you can accept your need for recognition and acknowledge it without judgment. Recognizing that the desire for recognition is natural and doesn't make you arrogant is key. Observe your thoughts and feelings without trying to change them. Pay attention when you downplay your successes or crave recognition. Approach yourself with kindness and understanding, remembering that everyone has a shadow. This process is not just about self-acceptance, but also a journey of freedom. The freedom comes from no longer having to hide the darker parts of ourselves. Once you've identified your shadow traits, dig deeper into their origins and impacts. Understand how they show up in your life, such as feeling unappreciated at work or frustration when others don't recognize your efforts. Journaling is a powerful tool to explore this. Write about your shadow traits, describe situations where these traits emerge, and explore the emotions connected to them. Journaling helps you not only become aware but also clarify the feelings and thoughts hidden in your mind. Additionally, seeking therapy or counseling can provide further guidance and support, helping you uncover deeper layers of your unconscious mind. Integration is the next step. This means accepting these traits and balancing them with your conscious self. Embrace the fact that you are a combination of both positive and negative traits. Pay attention to how your shadow traits influence your behavior and try to change unhelpful patterns. For example, instead of downplaying your successes or feeling angry, practice expressing your achievements in a healthy and balanced way. Share your success without bragging or seeking excessive recognition. When you achieve something important at work, mentioning it in team meetings or casual conversations with colleagues in a humble and straightforward manner is completely appropriate. Creativity through art, writing, or other methods can also help integrate these aspects into your conscious life, allowing you to express your shadow in a healthy way. Creativity is not only a means of expressing the unacknowledged parts of yourself, but also a way to build a more balanced life, where both light and dark can coexist. By doing this, you are embracing the complexity within yourself and nurturing a more honest relationship with yourself. Jung believed that achieving wholeness, a process he called individuation, requires integrating all parts of the mind, including the shadow. This journey brings us closer to becoming who we truly are, moving beyond the masks and roles imposed by society. Through working with the shadow, you will discover and integrate the hidden parts of yourself, living a fuller and more authentic life. Freedom comes from listening to, accepting, and integrating the unfinished parts of yourself, for it is the only way to live a true life. Understanding your archetypes is not only an important part of the self-development journey, but it also helps you recognize and address the hidden aspects of yourself, creating a more balanced and harmonious life. Jung believed that archetypes not only reflect individual elements within the mind, but also have a powerful influence on how people interact with the world and their relationships. Consider the archetype of the mother. In various cultures, the image of the mother is a universal symbol, representing care, nurturing, and protection. However, when this archetype becomes overdeveloped, it can lead to dependence on others or create a feeling of needing to rescue everyone around you. A typical example is when a person constantly feels they must worry about and protect others, to the point of sacrificing themselves and losing their independence. This archetype can show up in family relationships, work situations, or even in social settings, where the individual feels compelled to do everything to keep things stable. Then there is the ego archetype, another aspect that many of us can identify, particularly in Western societies where personal expression and independence are highly valued. However, when the ego becomes too large, one can easily fall into arrogance, lack of humility, or isolate themselves from others. People with a dominant ego often have difficulty accepting help or advice from others because they believe they are always right and do not need support from outside. The important thing in working with archetypes is not to let them unconsciously control your life. Instead, you need to become aware of their presence and decide how they influence you. This requires self-awareness and the acceptance that you don't always have to live according to a specific archetype. You can choose to adjust the archetypes to align with your personal values and goals. For example, if you recognize that you are behaving according to the ego archetype and it is causing barriers in your relationships, you can consciously change your approach and behavior. By learning to listen to others, showing humility, and expressing gratitude, you will find that you create better connections and expand your perspective. This not only helps you develop relationships, but also allows you to mature in the process of understanding yourself. Additionally, understanding and working with archetypes can also help you confront the shadow parts of your mind, where desires or fears are pushed beneath your consciousness and affect your actions and decisions. This is why Jung saw working with archetypes as an essential part of self-awareness and personal development. This approach is not limited to theory, but can be applied to real-life situations. We can begin by identifying archetypes through observing our emotions, behaviors, and reactions to the situations around us. Images, dreams, or strong emotions you experience may serve as valuable clues to uncovering your archetypes. To work with archetypes effectively, you can start by journaling about recurring themes, situations, or symbols in your life. From there, you can identify patterns or automatic responses you have developed in the past and adjust them. This not only helps you release hidden parts of your mind, but also enables you to live more consciously, leading to growth and wholeness in your personal development journey. Finally, remember that working with archetypes is a long-term process that requires patience. Change does not happen overnight, but if you remain persistent and work with your archetypes, you will find that they are no longer unconscious forces controlling your life, but rather valuable tools that help you live a richer and more fulfilling life. Applying Jung's principles to daily life can bring profound changes in how you perceive yourself and the world around you. This process is not just a journey of inner exploration, but also a path of sustainable development, helping you achieve integrity, a central goal in Carl Jung's theory. Develop self-awareness and practice self-reflection. As mentioned, one of the most important methods in applying Jung's principles is self-awareness. This involves not only understanding your emotions and thoughts, but also recognizing and working with underlying behavioral patterns. This can be done through daily self-reflection exercises, such as journaling about your emotions or contemplating life situations, to uncover the influences of the shadow and archetypes in your actions. For example, each morning, you might spend a few minutes reflecting on your mood and the reasons behind your feelings. A question like, "Why do I feel jealous of others today?" can help you realize that this feeling may not only stem from dissatisfaction with others, but also reflect a lack of self-confidence or a sense of scarcity within yourself. Once you identify this cause, you can begin to work with it, rather than blaming or avoiding it. Integrate the shadow and archetypes in relationships. Jung stated that only when we integrate the shadow and archetypes within ourselves can we build truly harmonious and mature relationships. Acknowledging both our weaknesses and strengths helps us become more authentic communicators. In relationships, this means that instead of hiding or denying negative emotions, you should learn to share them openly and honestly. When faced with conflicts in relationships, rather than criticizing or blaming others, recognize that these emotions may be part of your shadow. This not only helps improve relationships, but also brings you closer to integrity within yourself. Accept discomfort and grow from challenges. Jung emphasized that the path to integrity is never easy. Facing the shadow and archetypes can evoke uncomfortable emotions, but it is through these challenges that we learn and grow. When you confront difficult emotions like anger, fear, or anxiety, instead of avoiding them, try to understand where they come from and which archetypes in you are trying to express themselves. Accepting this discomfort does not mean ignoring it, but rather understanding that all emotions and feelings have value in helping you mature. As you learn to befriend these emotions, you will be able to respond more positively and find effective solutions. Explore and apply symbols in dreams and daily life. An important part of applying Jung's theory is understanding the symbols in dreams. Jung believed that dreams are windows into the unconscious, where archetypes and the shadow can manifest more clearly. By analyzing and amplifying symbols in dreams, you can expand your understanding of yourself and explore hidden parts of yourself that you may not have been aware of before. For example, if you dream of a snake, it could be a sign of change or latent fear. Jung advises that you not only analyze it simply, but also connect the symbol with myths, stories, and personal experiences to gain deeper insight. Perhaps you feel fearful when seeing a snake, but is this fear connected to an unresolved past event? Or could it be a sign that you are facing a significant change in your life that you're not ready to accept? Create balance between light and dark, between reason and emotion. Finally, the balance between light and dark, reason and emotion, is a key element in living a complete and meaningful life. When you fully understand and accept both your light and dark aspects, you will approach life holistically, not just through reason but also through emotion and intuition. Living a meaningful life is not simply about pursuing goals or success. It is also about learning how to live with yourself, integrating the darker parts of your nature, and using them for growth. Jung believed that this process is not an endpoint but a continuous journey. Every time you face a new challenge, you have the opportunity to learn, grow, and move closer to your true self. Thus, applying Jung's principles is not just an analytical process, but also a continuous practice that helps you integrate and grow without end. Practicing active imagination, the path to deep connection with the unconscious. Active imagination, according to Carl Jung, is one of the most powerful techniques for exploring and connecting with your unconscious mind. Unlike dreams, which occur spontaneously, active imagination is a conscious method where you remain awake while allowing your imagination to drift freely. This is a way for you to approach and decode subconscious images, emotions, and memories, helping you not only understand yourself better, but also supporting the process of healing and personal development. Decoding subconscious images. When practicing active imagination, you enter a quiet mental space and accept any images or emotions that arise from your mind. This can help you identify psychological patterns or parts of yourself that you may have overlooked or failed to recognize. One of the key goals of active imagination is to explore the symbols that the unconscious creates, as each image holds a deep message. For example, if you frequently dream of a wolf, you can revisit this image in active imagination and observe how the wolf responds when you approach it. Is the wolf frightening, or does it bring a sense of peace? Engaging in a conversation with the wolf, or simply paying attention to the feelings you experience, can help you uncover a part of yourself that you may not have been aware of. Perhaps the wolf represents a strong, wild part of you that you haven't accepted, or maybe it symbolizes the independence that you are lacking in your real life. Interacting with archetypes and shadows. One unique aspect of active imagination is the ability to directly interact with archetypes or shadows within the unconscious. Jung believed that the shadow is not an evil part but rather aspects of ourselves that we have not yet integrated. Archetypes, such as the shadow, hero, mother, teacher, or servant, all carry important messages to help you understand the unexplored parts of your being. In active imagination, you can approach these shadows and begin a conversation. If you encounter a shadow that frightens you or makes you feel uneasy, instead of avoiding it, try asking, "Why are you appearing in my life? What can you teach me?" These conversations not only provide deep self-understanding, but also help you integrate and accept the darker parts of your soul. Exploring unresolved issues. Active imagination is also a useful tool for confronting unresolved issues in your life. Sometimes, strong emotions or long-standing unresolved problems can appear in active imagination in the form of images or symbols. These may be signs that you need to face an unresolved issue or an emotion that hasn't been processed in your waking life. For example, if you dream of being lost in a deserted city, it could indicate that you are feeling directionless or disconnected from your life's purpose. In active imagination, you could return to that city and try to resolve the situation. Perhaps you find a path that leads to clarity, or you meet a guide who helps you discover your way. This provides important clues for solving unresolved issues in your real life. Connecting the conscious and the unconscious. The technique of active imagination helps you create a dialogue between the conscious and unconscious mind. This is an ongoing process that helps you understand your motivations and choices. In daily life, we often focus solely on conscious thoughts and actions, but the unconscious holds valuable information about what truly matters to us. Active imagination is the bridge between these two parts, helping you gain deeper insight into yourself and the undiscovered aspects of your life. By practicing this technique daily, you will begin to notice changes in your life. Emotional issues or relationships may become clearer, and you will be able to address them more effectively. Active imagination is not only a way to confront unresolved aspects of yourself, but also a powerful tool to bring you closer to integrity and emotional maturity. Keeping an active imagination journal. An important part of practicing active imagination is recording what you experience. Journaling will help you reflect on the images, symbols, and emotions that appear during the practice. Writing down your thoughts and feelings allows you to connect them to real-life situations and psychological issues you are facing. This not only helps you remember the insights gained from the unconscious, but also provides you with a deeper understanding of your emotions and thoughts. Journals also serve as a tool to track your progress and recognize changes in your self-awareness and personal growth. Conclusion. Active imagination is a powerful tool for connecting with the unconscious, exploring undiscovered parts of yourself, and fostering profound personal growth. This process not only helps you decode dreams, but also offers a method for confronting the shadow in your soul, understanding unresolved issues, and creating balance between the conscious and unconscious. As you practice regularly and journal about your experiences, you will not only find answers to life's questions, but also move closer to integrity and inner maturity. Observing synchronicity. Messages from the unconscious and deep connection with the self. Synchronicity, an important concept in Carl Jung's philosophy, is not just a series of random coincidences but moments in which the connection between the external world and what is happening in our minds can be felt clearly. Jung said, "Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see, and this truly opens up an insightful way of perceiving how we can understand and connect with the signs the universe or our unconscious is sending us." Signs from the universe and the unconscious mind. When talking about synchronicity, Jung did not only refer to random events in life, but also emphasized that these events may contain important messages from our unconscious. These coincidences seem to lack a clear cause, yet they create a strong sense of connection and can help us recognize unresolved issues or emotions in our lives. For example, if you suddenly think of an old friend you haven't seen in years and then coincidentally run into them shortly after, this might not just be a coincidence but a sign from your unconscious, encouraging you to revisit past relationships or unresolved feelings with that person. The moment of reunion may prompt you to confront unresolved emotions from a past argument, or simply remind you of the need for reconciliation in your life. Exploring the need for connection and communication. Synchronicity can also reflect deep-seated needs in your life, particularly in relationships and social connections. If you feel lonely and then happen to meet an old friend, this encounter might be a message from your unconscious, signaling that you need to connect more with those around you. These coincidences are not merely random but could be signs of hidden desires, things you have not acknowledged or paid attention to in your current life. When you reconnect with a college friend, It may remind you of interests or passions you have forgotten over time. This synchronicity could serve as a reminder that you need to return to the things that make you happy, rediscover aspects of yourself that you have neglected, and bring balance and continuity into your life. Encounters as opportunities for personal growth. Not only does synchronicity remind you of unmet needs or unresolved emotions, but it can also symbolize personal growth. These encounters, whether accidental or meaningful, can signal that you are at a transition point in your life. Jung believed that synchronicity is a way the unconscious uses to reflect progress or changes in your journey toward maturity. When you meet an old friend after a long time, you might realize that you have changed significantly, not just physically, but mentally as well. These meetings can remind you of the progress you have made in your personal development journey. You might view this change with pride, as it shows that you are ready to face new challenges and continue growing. Synchronicity and the connection to the collective unconscious. Beyond personal moments, Jung also spoke about synchronicity in the context of the collective unconscious, shared patterns, symbols, and experiences that all of us can connect with. These synchronous events are not only meaningful for individuals, but can also reflect common themes that the whole community is going through. If you keep seeing an image or symbol repeat in your dreams, it could be a way the collective unconscious is sending you a message, which may open up new insights into broader trends or societal issues. How to recognize synchronicity in everyday life. To recognize and harness synchronicity in your life, you first need to develop the ability to observe and pay attention to the events happening around you. This is a practice of mindfulness and sensitivity to seemingly random moments that hold deep messages. Keeping a journal or taking time to reflect on your experiences can help you identify synchronous events and connect them with the emotions, thoughts, and issues present in your life. Recognizing synchronicity is not always easy, but as you begin to notice these signs, you will realize that these coincidental moments are not random. These events can be opportunities for you to grow, learn, and gain a deeper understanding of both yourself and the world around you. Conclusion. Synchronicity is a miraculous phenomenon, not just random coincidence but profound signs from the unconscious, helping you connect with undiscovered parts of yourself and providing guidance for your personal growth journey. Observing and understanding synchronicity in life will open up opportunities to find important lessons, resolve unresolved emotions, and become more aware of your need for connection and development. Through Carl Jung's techniques, we can take a step closer to gaining a deeper understanding of ourselves and unlocking a path to powerful inner development. Let dreams, active imagination, and synchronicity guide you in exploring the unconscious world within. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more useful videos on life philosophy and personal development. See you in the next videos.